Last year, I did something I never thought I would. I made over $100,000. This is what I learned. The first thing is that our minds are much more powerful than we think. I don't mean to get all like woo-woo on you, but just let me share my experience. I'm sure many of you have heard the phrase before, your mind shapes your reality. I first became curious about this concept after being gifted the Tibetan Book of Living and Dying. Everything I read in this book was very strange to me at the time. I was 16 years old and I had a very empirical view of the world. I was very skeptical of things that I couldn't find replicable evidence for. And I still very much am, which is why what happened surprised me. Integral to the book was the practice of meditation. So after reading some basic instructions in the book, I thought, what the heck, let's give it a try. That day, my worldview changed in a profound way. I have a lot more to say about this whole experience, but I'll save that for another day. For now, the main point that applies here is that after having some successful meditation sessions, I became aware that I was not using my mind to its best ability in my life. Specifically, I was not using it to sufficiently focus my attention on who I wanted to be and what I wanted to accomplish. Meditation showed me that the default state of my mind was to have sporadic thoughts and impulses constantly emerging in and out of my consciousness, like a swarm of fireflies in the night. But I learned that my attention could be controlled, and with enough practice, my focus became very narrow. Narrow upon a thought or idea I could create. This is a style of meditation known as shamatha, otherwise known as concentration meditation. It is very different from the style of meditation that you are probably more familiar with, which is vipassana or mindfulness meditation. Mindfulness is a more passive form of meditation with the goal of being a passive observer of what takes place in your consciousness. This has its own suite of benefits. Concentration meditation, however, is a very active form with the goal of focusing your mind intently upon a single point. So this was my main form of practice, and I've been doing this on and off for over a decade now. Okay, Steve, but how the heck does this tie into anything to do with our finances? Just bear with me. I promise it's all gonna come together. When I was 23, I had a whirlwind of events happen in my life that left me feeling very lost. Nobody likes you when you're 23. I think Blink-182 said it best. But instead of wallowing in my own despair, I used this as an opportunity to chart a new path forwards. And so I began the most serious undertaking of my meditation practice yet. I trained my mind through concentration meditation to become laser focused on the goals I wanted to achieve over the next several years. Two of those goals were being my own boss and making over $100,000 by the time I was 30. So like I said earlier, I'm the type of person who likes to confirm things with proof. Well, I guess in this case, I kind of became my own living proof. This confirmed to me the power of intently controlling your focus over long periods of time. But of course, focus alone is not enough. Things won't just happen magically if you just focus on them. You have to pair focus with a plan, with steps and actions that you can take. But I think much of the conversation around personal finance today is a bit imbalanced. We speak a ton about planning. We speak about financial plans, investment portfolios, budgeting strategies, which is great. That's obviously super important. But do we speak enough about how to stay focused on these plans day after day, month after month, year after year? I think it could be very beneficial to start with a commitment to yourself, a goal that you are going to make this happen and that you are going to focus. Now I would like to shift the focus, pun intended, to the second thing that I learned from making my first $100,000. That is, I think our general financial priorities are usually wrong. What I mean by this is, for a lot of people, myself included, I think we place a huge emphasis and importance upon investing our money to grow it. We get so excited about the stock market, especially at the beginning of our financial journey. And it makes sense, right? The market is exciting. You got bulls, you got bears, you got charts, you got news, you got all this crazy stuff going on. It's honestly a little bit like sports. You can definitely draw parallels to the way you might think about your favorite sports team and the way you think about stocks that you own. But honestly, the truth is, investing your money will generally be less impactful than increasing your income, at least at the beginning of your financial journey. For example, if you invested $50,000 into the stock market and earned 10% for 1 year, that is a gain of $5,000. But let's say you earned $50,000 right now, and then you spent the year focusing on increasing your income, and you increased it to $60,000. That's now a gain of $10,000, which you can also invest and compound. So I want to be very, very clear here though. I'm not saying to not invest your money. Investing is an integral part of a financial plan. I'm just saying that I've personally found increasing my income to be more impactful to my net worth than investing my money, at least at this stage of my life. And I think the reason for this is that investing is a long-term game. The main rewards that you get from investing your money are had far into the future. And trust me, this is coming from somebody who tried to rapidly multiply my money in the markets before. When I was in university, I tried to turn a very small sum of money into a lot by trading options. And I'm not talking just some basic calls and puts here. I spent some serious time learning the ropes of options trading. I'm talking selling volatility, straddles, strangles, a whole lot of different spreads. If you're into the options game, you'll know what I mean. But this was a bit dumb, because I could have used all that energy that I was putting into learning this stuff into figuring out how I could increase my income generating potential for the future. I think we gravitate towards the allure of multiplying our money in the markets because we perceive it as quick and easy. And we shy away from the hard path of asking ourselves, how can I provide more value to society? What can I work on? What can I learn? What can I build day after day, month after month, year after year that's going to become more valuable into the future? Honestly, for the most part, investments are generally best left alone. The more you do to them, the more you can mess things up. But our skills, we can't leave these alone. We need to continuously be sharpening them and improving them over time. Are you someone who checks the stock market every day or the financial news? Do you check something every single day that you probably don't need to? What if you instead checked in on something that you're trying to learn, something that you're trying to build every day? And this comes back to that idea of focus. What is your focus placed upon right now? Is it on the markets? The news? Your career? Where do you want it to be? Where do you want to be? Can you focus on that?